What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are here. It's the Mike and Mish show. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Kyle? What a weekend. What a weekend, man.
Those are the weekends that, take a year off your life, but also give you a bunch of awesome memories, and I love it. I love every single trip we go on. We got a great show. We're going to talk to a few people tonight. We're going to talk to our first guest about this past weekend and about what's coming up for him. And then we're going to talk to, let me tell you who he is first. Our first guest of the evening is going to be the reigning BKFC bantamweight champion, Johnny Bedford, the brutal one himself. And then we're going to follow him up with the former heavyweight champion, Joey Beltran, who will be fighting at the upcoming BKFC 33 in Omaha, Nebraska. Before we do that, let's just shout our sponsor real quick. I don't have any of their gear on tonight, and I'm apologizing for that because it's friggin' cold in my house and my sweatshirt's not clean. But here you go. Guerrilla Warfare Apparel. Get on their website, guerrillawarfareapparel.com. Use the promo code Mike and Mish. Get yourself some cool gear. They're signing all these fighters. They're lacing up all these fighters with some cool gear. There you go. You got Christine Faria and our boy Royal Reber right there. Hit them up. They got a lot of cool stuff. They're signing a lot of fighters, and we like their gear. It's comfortable as hell, and if I had my sweatshirt, I'd be wearing it because it's cold in my house. Mike,
yes.
Have you recovered from the weekend?
I have not, but I'm here. I'm here. I've been playing it off pretty well at work, I think.
Yeah.
Fooling everybody.
Let's jump right into our show tonight. We got our first guest of the evening in the virtual green room right now, ready to come on and talk about this weekend's events and what's coming up for him. You know him as Brutal Johnny Bedford. There he is.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's happening?
We are great, Johnny. How are you?
I am well, man. I'm good. Texas is good. I don't want to, I'll let this conversation go. Obviously, I've got a lot to say, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. So, yeah, I'll take my time and not just start jibber jabbering, I guess.
Before we get into all that stuff,
yeah.
Speaking of Texas, when the hell is Bare Knuckle going to crack into Texas? Is there talk about this? I remember they had mentioned like a Dallas card like a year ago, and nothing ever happened with it. What's the word?
So I know probably a little more, and I hope I'm not like stepping on toes, and I don't think I am. But I went to 2 events ago live. I went to the Louisiana show because it's a 4-hour drive for me, and obviously sat ringside, and it was a great event. But it was interesting because the Texas Commission was there, they were there, kind of just getting their feel for it. I tried to do my part, and they introduced me to the commission. I know the commission guys because I'm coaching MMA every weekend here, or a lot of them at least. But it was really cool to see them, and I got my hopes up, and I thought that, okay, they're going to watch it. They're going to see it's not this, brutal, barbaric sport that everyone sometimes still thinks it is, and they're going to see that it's safe. They're going to see whatever they need. But they didn't see enough, because I think that was the play. And I think part of my frustration is you'll hear about in a little bit, is not all one-sided. I think there's some reasons for it. And I think they really I think Bare Knuckle wanted to come to Texas, and I think Bare Knuckle wanted to use me in Texas. And I was really excited about it, but I am like 99.99, if not 100% sure, it got turned down again. So the Texas Commission they're difficult to deal with.
These guys, man,
they've been the guys that I couldn't imagine being a promoter here, because they make it a nightmare for you. You've got to dot every I and cross. They're not here to help you. It's what it seems like. They're not here to help the fighters. They're not here to help the promoters. They're there to beat their chest and look at me. I got my badge on, and there's some good ones, man. I shouldn't, because this may get viral or whatever, but there are some good ones, and that's for sure, right? But a lot of these guys are weekend warriors, bro. They're not even combat sport athletes. They just fucking got some badge because their cousin does it, and now they're trying to tell me, like, whatever. Yeah,
that's too bad. This past weekend we were down in Florida, and we were talking to Mike and I, we go around to all the cities. We go to like bars and restaurants and stores and whatnot, and we just talk bare knuckle with anybody that wants to listen. That's our goal in life, is just spread the gospel. You know what I mean? Like, tell
Yes.
everybody about. And we ran into some people that were from Texas, and they were like, "Oh, is it in Texas yet?" And I'm like, "No, it's not legalized there yet." And this girl's exact words were, "How can it not be legal in Texas? Everything's legal in Texas."
Yeah.
That's what she said. I'm like, I don't know.
A law, but I mean, marijuana's not, and bare knuckle boxing's not.
Yeah.
So Texas is behind the times.
Man, oh man, I hope they can crack that force field that Texas has put up against this sport, because it
would be so great to do a knuckle mini or something here in freaking Dallas at the Cowboy Stadium or whatever. There's Texas Live now, which is right next to the stadium. That's where Triller did an event. I went to that one. It'd be a perfect arena, man. It would be so awesome, and to let me fight at home one time at least, you know what I mean, would be
amazing.
It would be huge, yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about you fighting, Johnny. You've been out since August 20th, 2021. Since the last time you fought, a interim belt has come up. It has changed hands. It has now not been defended, but the guy who holds it has fought again. What the hell is going on with the bantamweight division in the BKFC, and when are we going to see you back in there to right whatever the hell is going on here?
Yeah, that was very well put. It's a shit show. It's a shit show, and I knew it was going to be a shit show from the beginning, if I'm being completely honest, and I guess that's what I'm here for. I was scheduled to fight in March versus Jerry Grant, and man, I was injured, right? I had an orbital fracture. I've done it once before in my career. I had a small orbital fracture. The weird thing for me was that my face kept going like numb. Like I almost like didn't have a feeling. I kept doing like just to like wake myself up. And that's what got weird. And like when I started like sparring different, like not trying to get hit and shit, that's when people started noticing. And then my wife's noticing, I see me doing this shit all the time, whatever else. I was like, what's going on, dude? And I'm like, there's something weird. My face is not going well. So we went and got an x-ray, and Dr. Muzzy saw it from BKFC. And obviously the doctors here, and he didn't fly to Texas. So doctors here did the x-ray, or what is it called? CT scan, I guess.
Yep.
CT scan. Because they're looking for neurological damage. They're looking for whatever they can find, right? And it comes back, there's I forget what they call it, some fracture. It sounds horrendous. It's not that bad, but it sounds way worse than it does the name of it. Blowout fracture, something blowout fracture. So it sounds horrible, right? Like blowout, like what the fuck? But it's a fracture that happened, and the best news I got is the nerves were just pissed off. You need to not get punched in the face for a while. And stubbornly, I wanted to still fight. I wanted to fight Jerry Grant. He's got a big fucking mouth. Like, I needed that fight. I really wanted that fight. But I'm also a coach, and I know how much this game's mental. And you know what I mean? If I'm going in there doubting things like, I don't want to fight this kid at 60% or 80% even. You know what I mean? I'll give him credit for that. So I made the unfortunate decision to pull out, and that was fucking March. So the plan is the show's got to go on. Bare Knuckle gets an interim title fight. Jared's still going to fight, and they put a belt on the line, and good for them. Jared, he's supposed to fight for a belt. I think they did the right thing in the moment. They found Reddick, who was 3-0 or some shit at the time. I don't know. And Grant won.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Now, so we're talking Texas. We're talking wherever at this point. Because now comes, let's call it June-ish, and now I'm healed. And now I'm not sparring yet, but hey, let's have this conversation of when I'm going to fight this punk kid. And I thought it was going well. Communication has never been great with Bare Knuckle, and I don't mean that to shit on them. I think they self-admit they know they're not good communicators. I feel like I'm a fucking company, man. I deserve to be. My phone calls get answered. I don't ask for a lot. So there's some frustration in this, but I guess to get back to the story, June, we were planning a fucking August, September date for me or Grant, is what the last conversation I had with them. And I'm not shitting you, man. 3 days later, I saw the fucking Instagram post where it had Jerry Grant versus Reggie Barnett.
And that was July, and that was for them to fight in July. Correct.
Yes. Yes. I'm trying not to go off subject here because I got opinions on all this shit. But
hey, throw it all out there. That's what I'm here for.
But I knew right away, and I called him and I said, "What the? First of all, when do we start defending interim belts? And second of all, what the fuck are you gonna do when he loses? Reggie's a horrible matchup for him. What the fuck? And I think my real truth is I don't think they thought he was gonna lose. I thought that they thought Jared Grant was the next big shit and he's gonna beat Reggie Barnett and yada yada. And we all saw how that went. That was a shit show. Or that was a one-sided fight, right?
It was a five. It was 5 rounds to 0.
Exactly what I said. What are you gonna do when he loses? Because it doesn't make sense. As much as Reggie keeps going, doing great things, it doesn't make sense. And I'm here for big fights and paychecks, bro. I'm not here to fucking like whatever. I beat you 2 of my last 4 fights. I don't need to fight you right now. I do not need to fight you right now. And it's not even really been close. And I'm not even talking shit again. Like I handily beat you twice. And I just think I've got your number. It is what it is. I fucking said it leading up to that fight. Reggie Barnett would be the greatest bare knuckle boxer that is never a world champion. And that still holds true to this day. Now, I'm hoping some things happen out. We'll probably get down the line. I think he should be a world champion at 125. But until I retire, I'm the belt holder right now, and I need to find a fight. And Reggie's not the champ. And I think Reggie is Reggie's good. I'll just leave it at that. But so anyways, yeah. So Reggie's a champ, but now we don't know what we're doing, and we are now negotiating. Hey, maybe Texas is getting in. All these things are coming up. They're promising me, okay, like maybe November, December. I got promised I'm going to get on the December card in Florida if November doesn't work out, yada yada yada, or if January doesn't work out. I'm sorry. And then I see he gets booked again. Like, what the hell is going on?
So you were willing to fight him again?
No, I was waiting to see. I just needed communication.
Oh, okay.
Like, what are we doing? And I've said it since Reggie won. They put themselves in a really weird spot because I think they know it makes no sense for me and Reggie to fight right now. Right. But what that does is it stalemates the entire division because there's no one to fight. Well, there's one person to fight, and he's got to get his shit together, and he's going to hear this today, and me and him are going to fucking fight. But there's no one else makes sense. There's no one else. Jared Grant's coming off a loss. Reddick's coming off a loss. I beat Reggie 2 of my last 4. There's no one else except for that win.
That. And the funny thing is, that's who Reggie called out after his win the other night. We asked him, what do you want to do next? And he said, I want that. Or, if I have to fight Johnny again, I'll fight Johnny again. But it's funny that you hold that belt. You want that. Yeah. He holds the interim belt. He wants that. Neither one of you two really want to do it a third time. It's a really funny, fucked up situation that they're in here. And the only way I think they could figure this out is if they throw a 125 belt on the line and tell Reggie to go down and fight like John Dodson, and then you and Dat Win can do your thing up at 135.
I think that's exactly what needs to happen, and we've talked today, and that I can't say too much, but I think that might be a very real possibility, and Reggie Barnett gets to become a real world champion in the weight class he belongs in, and I'm happy for him.
When you say you talked today, you're talking about with the brass.
Yes, with of course. I think it got up the chain that I'm going to be on you guys are doing good things. You're a pretty popular podcast here. It's funny how my phone calls get answered quicker and
fantastic. Yeah. Well, cheers to that.
Yes.
Hey, and you know what's cool, Johnny? And just not to like toot our own horn. Tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of the start of this show. So in 2 years, we have been able to pull all this shit off, and now we're getting Johnny Bedford's phone calls answered.
Hey, I appreciate it. So whatever I need, So
no, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we're in a weird predicament, but I can't say too much. Obviously, somebody's got to fucking agree to fight me. Rumor has it he keeps asking to fight me too. It's that win. So I don't know what we're waiting on. I'm not supposed to say locations because I don't think it's released yet. I'll just say a month. I think it's going to be in January, and I think as we know, it's on you, Datwin. Are you gonna fucking be there or not? Because I'll be there.
Oh man,
We'll we'll find out for real who the champ is. We can do this damn thing one more time. I accepted my defeat the first time. I watched it 100 times. I wish I would have fought differently. I fought emotional at first. You see the 4th and 5th round, I started picking him apart. I really want that fight back. I'm fucking 6-1, and he's my one loss. So and it's just the situation at hand. There's no real number one contender because Reggie keeps fucking beating
him. I mean, listen, we play like fantasy matchmaker all the time on this show. And Reggie and John Dodson, the speed of Reggie, the combos of Reggie, and the development of him as a bare knuckle fighter against a guy who's only 1-0 and had fought for about, what did he fight for 30 seconds in his one. John Dodson's a beast. He's got some of the fastest hands that you were in there with him.
Yes.
I think a John Dodson, Reggie Barnett at 125 is a phenomenal dream fight for a bare knuckle fan, and that opens the door up for a Datwin Johnny Bedford part 2, right the wrong rematch that we all want to see. Get it done. Right?
I agree. I think Reggie. Again, I don't know how much I can say. I think
that's fine.
Reggie's gonna fight in March, and I think if we get this deal done, I think Reggie will fight at 125. I think he'll become a real world champion that day. Will he fight John Dodson? I don't know because Dodson's only 1-0. They might make him, get another win. And also, I don't know how many other 25 pounders there are. I've heard some names, but I don't.
There's a few out there, but none of them make any more sense. None of them make any more sense than that. What did you think about Reggie's last 2 fights since Reggie fought you? And you guys have had some good battles between the two of you as well. But Reggie, when he's not fighting you, looks damn near unstoppable. He's 10-0 in rounds since he fought you. What'd you think about his fight against Jared? And then what'd you think about his fight against Gian the other day?
Start with Jared. It went a lot like I thought it would, if I'm being honest. Probably not so one-sided, but I thought he's going to be too much. I thought Jared bit off way more than he could chew. He had no idea what he's running into. And I'll say it, styles make fights, right? And I think Reggie beats Jared Grant fucking 10 out of 10 times. I don't even think it was close. He starched him. Reggie's last fight, I think Reggie's really good. I think he's really good. And these MMA guys, they have one bare knuckle fight and they think they can fucking do this. That's kind of the problem with Dodson right now, is they don't really understand the game yet. Like you said, Dodson's fought 30 seconds. He hasn't even been touched yet. He hasn't been clinched yet. He hasn't, gone to a second round yet. He hasn't had, shit happens and you gotta, so I think Reggie out experienced and another good matchup. He's got some flat-footed bulldog that wants to just plow forward, and Reggie's going to pick you apart, and that's what Reggie did really well.
Yeah, hey, we got a comment in the comment section. I just want to answer him real quick. He says, what happened in New York? Johnny no-showed. He didn't no-show. He had a cracked orbital. He answered that question a few minutes earlier in the show here, right? That's why the New York fight did not happen.
That's why Reddick and Jared fought for the interim, and if you go back, it explains everything.
Right, it was a cracked orbital, maybe a blowout. It was a blowout. Something.
Blowout. not like a quality
left
blowout.
Medial wall blowout fracture. That
sounds awful.
A left medial wall blowout fracture. When Muzzy sent that to me, I was like, that sounds horrible. And then we talked. He's like, let's get a fracture. You don't need surgery right now. You need to make sure that you get feeling back in your face.
Doesn't it?
That was good.
Doesn't it sound like someone stuck a M80 up your nose?
Yes, and blew it up.
Blowout fracture. It just sounds horrible. But.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Now, Johnny, you've had all this time off, and you said you were ready to go back in June.
What we were talking about a fight in June. I was trying to fight in August, September, if I'm being honest.
Right. Well, you were talking about fighting in June, so I assume that you've been training, steadily all along. A January fight is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, since June, like you just said, I had it full intention of fighting in 2022. But I think just as shit keeps happening and stuff gets weird and Reggie keeps beating all my opponents and whatever else, I think it's going to get, I'm not some young chicken either that just hops up and takes a fight in 3-week notice. I need to, you know what I mean? So, yeah, 8-12 week camp is good for me. January, especially maybe later January is better. I get to not necessarily be miserable during the holidays with my kids, but let's go. I'm ready.
I'm surprised they didn't push it back a little bit and put it on that Knuckle Mania in Albuquerque.
I think they need a main event somewhere else.
Nice.
And I think
I like that.
state will be I think it's definitely a new state. So I'm just not allowed to say yet. And I don't
Beautiful.
want to
Right. Yeah, and
Well, that's great
also
news.
I'm pretty sure that we know what they're shooting for the Albuquerque Knucklemania main event. I think we probably know. Johnny probably knows what they're shooting for there, and we could just say they're probably shooting for Mike Perry versus somebody big in that card. I'll just throw that out there.
And Christine Faria is going to be
Christine
on there.
Faria
We
is
can probably
gonna
guess
be-
who she's going to fight too. Beck Rollins
and Ben Rothwell's probably going to be on there. We don't know who his opponent is, but we have a good idea of what they're trying to do down there in Albuquerque. And what that makes me think is also Dotson will probably be on there.
Right.
So,
And
I
his
mean, they're doing big
right.
things, Johnny. They're really doing big things, and hopefully the relationship between Brutal Bedford and BKFC is okay right now.
It's not bad. It's just the fucking communication, man. Like, just communicate me. I've been here since day one. Right? Yeah, shit happens. I've had an injury. I understand that, but communicate with me, bro. We'll get through this. I just want to know, and I feel like I deserve that at this point. And we're good. I'm super. I am a company man. I am happy for them and proud of them, or whatever we're going to use, of what they've done with this sport and the opportunities they're giving guys like me. It's amazing, bro. Like you said, you've been doing the show for 2 years, and look at the reach you guys got because of David Feldman and Nate Shook and the team. So it's not just me shitting on these guys, but it's some decisions they made. I understand, but some decisions they made is just where the fuck am I at? Where I'm getting people talking about on the media talking about I should be stripped of my belt. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I've been trying to defend this belt since August, September. Just give me a date, please, sir. That's all it's been. And it's been a frustrating 5 months. Just trying to figure out when can I put something on a calendar that is real. And
hopefully it's very soon.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we ran into you in Biloxi for breakfast. That was I feel like it was so long ago. I almost can't even remember, that card. Remember that?
Yes, dude, that's crazy.
Man,
Biloxi.
Ever ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Are they going back to Biloxi?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about any time soon.
Yeah.
I know the next 5 locations, and Biloxi's not one of them. So.
Nope.
You know what they're doing in December, Johnny, which is pretty damn cool. Me and Mike are going to go out there and do some live coverage for these guys during it. They're doing a huge BKFC tryout at the Mr. Olympia in Vegas. Yeah, so
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Mr. Olympia is a 4-day event. 2 of those days they're going to be holding BKFC tryouts, and we'll be out there for that. And hopefully that brings 100. I hope they bring some big name fighters out there to do some meet and greets with these guys that are trying out. And I hope that Vegas, fight capital of the United States, I hope hundreds show up for that freaking tryout, man, and just build the roster even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they get the big name guys, the Mike Perrys and those guys, it helps me. I'm not dumb. I understand this. We need views. Bare Knuckle needs to make money for me to make money. So I'm happy with it all. I want to see growth. Mr. Olympia is huge. I actually hosted one of those tryouts here in Texas at my gym, and it was freaking awesome, dude. We had like 90 guys. I don't want to over toot my own, but there was a bunch of people there. They signed like 4 or 5 guys, so it was awesome.
Yeah, they look cool. We haven't been to any yet, but I can't wait for it.
Yep.
This will be our first one. We're gonna run some off the wall questions towards you real quick, and then we're gonna get you out of here, Johnny. We're gonna go with the first one for Johnny Bedford. I'm curious about this. Who's your favorite combat sports athlete of all time? Doesn't have to be an MMA fighter, could be a boxer. Who's your favorite of all time?
Holy shit, that's a great question. And I'm gonna favorite combat sport athlete of all time. I'll say it. It was Shogun Hua when I was way younger. I was a big, huge Shogun Hua fan. Who I think, and again, I think it's because I'm a coach too. You know, no one will ever get this answer, but Frankie Edgar. And here's the crazy part: Frankie Edgar is fighting someone I consider like a really good friend. Chris Gutierrez is from Texas. He now trains at Factory X. They're the feature bout on that fucking card. I think Chris Gutierrez is going to retire Frankie Edgar. But Frankie Edgar for so many years has been just again, I think it's with my coaching lenses on, the complete package. He's always in a good stance. He's always moving his feet. He's got his hands up. He's got great boxing, great wrestling. He's a Renzo Gracie black belt. I mean, the dude's like, if you can build a fighter, you build Frank, and he's tougher than nails. You can hit him with a fucking sledgehammer, and he'll get back up and choke you. Like, what? The Gray Maynard fights, this was all 12 years ago, though, right? So I understand that he's on his way out, and I am rooting against him for the first time in my life.
But think about this. He dominated for so long in a division that he never really belonged in.
He should have been at 35 10 years ago, bro.
10 years ago. I'm telling you, he's amazing. And this weekend will definitely, he said this is going to be his last one. So we'll see how that goes. Here we go. Number 2.
If you could add something to the rules or take something away, what would you change about the BKFC rule set?
If I could add or take something away. I've never really thought about that. It would get weird then. Like I would say, like I'm fucking mean though, but I would say headbutts.
The old Shady Grady, you're saying?
That was fucking shady, right? Because you can't headbutt right now. But if Shady Grady wants to get a fucking fight, we can just headbutt each other. I'll take that fight.
Yeah, headbutts only. The fights are special.
Like I've got a rock hard head.
We know what I would do? I would probably do some championship rounds or something, because I feel like, the champs, and even now, like you could see who was getting really good in the sport in the beginning, and like you and Reggie and Lorenzo and these guys are fighting 5 rounds, and it's like, oh, what's going on? Palomino. Now it seems like they can go a little bit longer because they're just so good, so talented. You guys are just kind of breaking through at this point, and I think you're transcending the rules at this point.
Oh yeah, 7 rounds.
People know how to play the game now. You know what I mean? I think at the beginning it was the fucking Wild West. Right. Everyone said, "Oh, I want to do bare knuckle," but they had no idea they're out there throwing overhand rights and busting their hands up in the first round. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
Howie Atherton says he would not wish that on Shady. He's talking about you against him in a headbutt competition.
I really don't want to even. I shouldn't even brought that. That guy's a goofball. He was in my DMs fucking a year and a half ago talking about fighting me. I'm like, I don't even know who you were at this point. Now you got lucky because you're big mouth and you cannot fight. You're nowhere near a title channel. Anyways, let's move on.
Here's a question that I cracked up, right? And why can't the diehard bare knuckle fans ever just be happy with what they get?
What is that? What do you think that is?
What do you think that is?
You have to be very diplomatic with this answer, I think.
I think it's communication. I think it's the same bitch the fighters have is that the hardcores have. They get left in the dark.
Yeah, that might be it. You don't hear with who's on the card until 2 weeks before or a week before. So
dude, I'm a fucking company man. I had no idea. Like you said, Reggie Barnett just keeps fighting every other weekend. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
Transparency. We need more transparency.
Yes. Okay.
Transparency. Okay. Non-fight questions. Here we go.
What did you and your family do for Halloween? What'd you dress as? You dress up?
I did not dress up as well. I dressed up for. What do we do for Halloween first? I'll answer that first. We went trick or treating. I guess it will lead into this. My wife dressed up as a whatever with. Holy shit! She's pregnant. I'm too old for this shit. If she's pregnant, but yeah. So my family is growing, which
There
is
you go.
awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes. My baby is 10, and now I'm having another baby.
Oh my God.
I've got 16,
Oh,
11, and 10 in my house, and now we'll be having a baby. So
Whew, a decade apart, man.
Back to those diapers.
starting over, bro.
Wow.
But it's. What am I gonna do? Complain? Like,
Keeps you
it's a
young.
baby. I'm happy, right? It's a baby, so we're happy.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And we went trick or treating with the older ones, obviously the 10-year-olds, and they wanted to do that. And what I dressed up as, I was one of those big T-Rex that blows up. You know what I mean? When you kind of look out his mouth and you chase kids around. But I didn't dress up until when I dressed up is the week after Halloween's over. I do a jiu-jitsu party at my gym for the kids, and everyone wears their costume, and I get to like really see like Batman versus fucking Spider-Man fight right now. And if you ruin your costume, it doesn't matter because Halloween's over. And it's awesome. So
and I bet you the kids in the gym. I bet you the kids in the gym. It's probably their favorite day of the year.
Oh,
too,
dude,
right?
they love it. You know what I mean? We had fun with it. I don't coach the second one, but I'm owners of two of them. And we combined gyms this year, so it was really cool. Kids got to, not only meet new friends and yada. It was cool.
Love it. I love it.
Yep.
And last question for you. Halloween's over. So how early is too early to start putting up the Christmas decorations?
It's too early right now.
Hell fucking
I'm not a big decorator. My wife is into it, and thankfully she's not over the top. Shit, I got neighbors out there already putting shit on their front yard and stuff already. And it's not like I said, I think, isn't the golden rule typically Thanksgiving, right? Or
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right
I think you're supposed to wait till Thanksgiving's over. That's probably a little early for. I'm not a decorator because it makes no damn sense. I'm not going to put this shit up to take it back down.
No, I got people. One neighborhood over from me that got Christmas lights up already.
Yeah, I've got the Griswolds next door.
Freaking
So,
insane. Insanity. Johnny, it's always great to talk to you, my friend. I'm glad we cleared up a few things tonight. I hope that the January thing is what's going to happen. I hope they solidify that. We'll give you a chance to fire off a message to anybody you want to say anything to right now, and then we'll let you get out of here.
No, obviously, Bare Knuckle, I love you. Maybe I said some things, but I do. I love and appreciate you. You put me and my family in a position. You give us opportunities, and that's what I'll say. My gym, my family, my home people here in Texas that support me no matter what, obviously. And yeah, just everybody that tunes in, man, like, because this sport is growing so damn fast, and it's so cool to be a part of it. And to ultimately, 10 years from now, I'm hoping to be remembered as a fucking pioneer in the sport, because me and Reggie and your next guest, Joey Beltran, we're all at Bare Knuckle 1.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. And you know what's crazy? Mentioning that Reggie and Travis were both on the card the other night. And did they fight each other in the first one?
They fought each other, Bare Knuckle 1.
Yeah, they fought each other in one. And here we are at BKFC 32, and they're both on the card fighting other people and going to 5-round wars with people too, which was fantastic.
Travis is having a little good turnaround with his career.
Yeah, that fight was awesome.
He's doing.
It was a bloody
war. I'm happy for him. I root for the OGs.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming on as always, Johnny. We hope to see you in there soon, and we hope that BKFC or Bare Knuckle as a sport gets into your state very soon, because
I hope so too.
They're dragging their feet on that. We hope it's soon. All right, have a great night, Mike. You got anything else for Johnny?
Nah, thanks, man. Hopefully we see you in January.
Yes, sir.
Pray.
Yes.
Right, take it
Have
easy.
a great night, guys. Tell
All
Joe
right.
I said hello, please.
Will do.
We will.
There we go, man. The brutal one, Johnny Bedford, is on his way back to the squared circle. It's great talking to him as always, and I hope that everything he just said, he didn't give away too many secrets, but hopefully we see him in there in fucking January, man.
Yeah, it's
It's been too goddamn long. At that point, January will be August. August is a year. September, October, November, December, January. That's a year and a half. That's a
long
fucking
time.
full year and a half with no Johnny Bedford in there. So it's time. Our second guest is in the waiting room. He's been waiting patiently, and we are ready to bring him on right now. He is fighting Houston Alexander November 18th. What is it? 18th?
Yes.
November 18th in Omaha, Nebraska, BKFC 33. Here he is, the Mexicutioner, Joey Beltran. What's up, buddy?
Hello, how you guys doing?
Hey.
You know, we're good, man. We're almost caught up on sleep from the weekend.
We just saw you. We ran into you down there.
Yeah, we
beautiful sunny Orlando.
Yeah, it's all right. It was good weather, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, Joey, that was a hell of a show. You were in the corner of David Diaz, and I'll tell you right now, that fight. If the people that were watching this sport are not fans of those two guys that were in that fight right there, Travis Thompson and David Diaz put on a fucking show for the crowd down there at the Cree Royale, a bloody war, and it was fantastic. What were you thinking when you're standing in the corner just watching these two paint a fucking bloody picture in the ring and you're a corner man?
It was kind of hectic in there. Like, I think between the third and fourth round, actually, like after the second round, the doctor, it wasn't Doc Muzzy, it was the lady doctor. I don't know who she was, if she was from the state or whatever. She was like, I could tell they wanted to stop it. I kept like, he's fine, dog. He's fine. We got it. He's fine. We got it. We got it. I'm telling him to move his head. We got it. And then like finally in between the third and the fourth round, I was like, listen, dude, you cannot fucking take any more shots. Stop it. Like, run. I was a fucking run the whole goddamn round, and we'll fucking pour it out in the fifth. But you cannot take any more hits. They're gonna stop the motherfucking fight.
No way.
And I don't know how well he listened, but I mean, well, I'm empathetic, man. We're Mexican. We're fucking hard headed. You punch us in the face, we're gonna try to kill you. So at the end of the day, like, I'm super proud of David, and honestly, like, can't hate on Travis. That was the best I think Travis has ever looked in all his 9 bare knuckle fights, and so I mean, he had to be, because David, I was a little fucking shocked by the scores. I mean, maybe shit looked different on TV or from their perspective, but I thought David like got the first 2, and then but whatever. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I knew Travis won the fight. I'm not stupid, but 50-44 was kind of silly.
Right. Did you guys see the stats, the punch stats of that fight?
No.
549 punches between the two of them thrown in that fight. Unbelievable output. And like you talked about, in between the third and fourth round, you're telling him, run, dude, you got to run. You're fucking. That fourth round is when he got dropped, and fucking Diaz is such a savage. He lands on his ass and he sits up and like smiles and gives fucking Travis a thumbs up. And then he smiles, takes the 8 count, gets up. And then the last minute of that round was an absolute friggin' slugfest. And everybody there was just losing their goddamn minds.
We're all crowded at that TV next to where the medicals were. There was a TV. There had to be like friggin' 20 people like crowding around it. Like, oh shit.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him. So
yeah,
he did his shit. I mean, don't make excuses, but I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Fucking Travis has like 20 pro boxing fights. How many? Like 10 bare knuckle fights, and fucking this is David's 3rd fight ever. Like 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't hate it. I mean, you got to be a fan of the guy.
Yeah, he proved he belongs. So good for him, man. I'm proud of him.
Travis was even saying about him how fucking awesome he did. He was like, man, I want to help this kid. I really didn't have a problem with him, only because he was ahead of me in the rankings. But other than that, I loved him. He's got heart. He's awesome. He's great personality. Like, yeah, everybody likes him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to throw a comment up here, and then we're going to move on and start talking about you and what you're doing with yourself right now. Big Ben 316, Mish, post this, please. Joey, I love you.
Oh, confessing his love.
I love Big Ben.
Big Ben loves you, man. Big Ben loves a lot of people, man.
I know.
He's got a lot of love to give.
All right. Hey, so listen, you're coming off a couple losses, but you were going through a lot of shit in your life in recent times. And in the meantime, your wife has gone through 2 title fights as well. She took home a belt in one of them. A lot of shit's been going on in the Beltran's life. You have decided to change camps. You're over there with Slaughterhouse now with the cheat code himself, Ryan Perez. We love Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. And all those Slaughterhouse guys. You are surrounded by absolute fucking killers. I know you always have been, but this group that is in that gym is something else, man. With all the guys you got in there, with Gogo and Duran and HD, and now the Beltrans are in now. Jomi, you got fucking you got Bryce Henry and Jeremy Smith. It's just like you can keep going on and on and on. What a fucking crew. Talk about what made you decide it's time to venture down to the 205 cruiserweight division, and when did that decision take place?
Oh wow, well, that's here comes a long-winded answer, man. Okay, so furthest from the giddy up, Ryan Perez. We met Ryan watching a BYB show, and I had never spoken to Jared Grant, like had a conversation, but me and Jared kind of always like had like a what up type relationship, like look at each other, size each other up, kind of like, what's up, respectful, like head nod, what up, man? And so I always, he's cool. And so then we at BYB one night, we were talking and shooting the shit, and then Britton and Ryan were talking about fighting and everything. And then fast forward a little bit, then Ryan did the WBKC or whatever belt, whatever, and he asked me and Britton to take pictures with the belt. And then we met, and then he was talking more about Britt and kind of like courting Britt, as you would say, like like trying to tell what he had to offer and stuff. And I remember I didn't like him at first. He's like, you know what, BKFCs, they got fucking older fighters. Like Joey's, he's already old. Fuck, I'm here. Fuck Joey, he's had his time to shine. I'm trying to work with the young fighters, blah blah blah. So I was like, whatever, fuck that guy. And I didn't really want to work with him. I was like, nah. But like, here's a good tip of the day: listen to your wife, because one day finally I was like, well, what had happened was, without going too much, without throwing dirt on too many people, like Boxar turned gay, and we'll just say that. And our relationship with Boxar fizzled and went sideways real quick. And so me and Britt were kind of like, all right, what are we gonna do? I think this was for the Beck fight. And then she's like, well, let's go. Ryan's over at KO Zone, and I already knew the people at KO Zone. Diego, shout out Diego, was an awesome gym owner. And so I was like, all right, cool, we'll go, whatever. Try it out. And the first day, like, I just personally just fell in love with it, and totally, like, the way I'll describe that team is like, and I, like, if you recall, many years ago, like, I was a part of that fucking crazy ass squad at Alliance MMA that had people, killers like fucking Dominic Cruz, Phil Davis, Travis Brown, Ross Pearson. Like, on any given day, like, you had Alex Gustafson, like, world-class motherfuckers just cruising in. And that's like the same kind of vibe, but except we're all bare knuckle fighters, and like I love it. So I like, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time since I've had a team. And so that I love that part. I love my whole squad, man. It's awesome, man. So all those guys,
they roll like everywhere together too. Like we see,
it's fun. It's fun, man.
Like you said,
man, it's like having a real team. It's fun.
There's a real team camaraderie there, man. They watch each other's backs. They're all at all the events. It's really something cool to see.
Yeah. And then little by little, even though like we were working out, Britt was getting ready for the Beck fight, like, and I was kind of still close to coming off my big knockouts, because I'll tell you about that a little bit, like, whatever. So I was like, I shouldn't have been sparring really, and I tried sparring a little too early, and then it was like, it didn't work out well. So I really like sat on the bench, and Ryan's like, you gotta fucking go back to like day one, like footwork, fundamentals, balance, your stance, like day one shit. He's all, and I'll help you. I'll help you. He's all, but you got to put in the work. I was like, I'm down, man. I'm not sure. I've never been afraid of hard work, you know, that's for sure. And, you know, little by little, I just kept, you know, and the whole time, like side by side in the process with Britt during her camps, like she's fucking winning fights and looking good and just like coming out of fights like untouched. Like, so the proof is in the pudding, you know, like shit, man. And then like little by little, like the work that Brian and I have been doing in the gym and my performance like in sparring and stuff like that is like, wow, man, this is awesome. I really like it. So
you feel like it's like almost like a rebirth.
Yeah, for sure. I would say so.
Are you learning things from Ryan? That is he teaching you anything that like you've never been taught before?
No, I mean, maybe it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, sometimes us as human beings, we're hard-headed and we can hear the same thing 3 times, but it's going to take that 4th time from a different person for it to finally click type deal, you know, because I know people that have like, show me similar shit. Like I've been doing this for a long time, you know what I mean? So it's like, I've seen this stuff like sporadically throughout the years. But what I think really is just more so like the mindset that like, you know, like this person doesn't deserve to touch me. Like I'm not in there. Like I don't get paid more if I take shots. I don't get paid more by trying my no, like move your head, move your feet. Like this person doesn't deserve to touch me, and then fuck him up. You know, like instead of like in the past, my mindset was like, oh, okay, if you hit me 10 times, I'm gonna fucking hit you 20. And I know that I have confidence in my cardio. It doesn't fucking matter. You want to get a pissing contest, I'll piss way further than you. You know, and so it's,
right.
You know,
take some to like, give some.
Yeah, for longevity and like, you know, my health and, you know, and also too, like having Britain, like I've never had anybody in my life, like even like ever like kind of like sit me down and like voice a concern about like CTE, like fucking head trauma, shit like that, you know. It's like has nobody ever cared before, you know? I don't know, whatever. But you know, but it's like maybe people just didn't want to have those difficult conversations, those hard conversations. Like, hey, man, this is fucking real. You know, what we're doing is not a fucking game, you know, and you know, and so it's like on top of like, so rewind. So we had gotten through her. What fight was that? Oh yeah, we got through the
back fight,
the Christine Ferreira fight, right?
Oh, Christine,
and so okay, so then we're gonna I fight in April, so it's perfect timing. We're gonna go back to Miami. I'm gonna link up with my coach, and we're gonna train at Box Art. It's gonna be great. And then we get to here, and it's like turns out that was not the case. The fucking basically, long story short, like the coach basically like broke up with me for lack of better terms. And so then I was like, well, fuck, what am I gonna do? I got this. I know what to do. I got this shit. And then I got Brick can hold pass for me. Like, fuck it, we'll go. We'll run it like this. So then I'm like cruising around Miami like I always do, like going and just trying to find the fucking gnarliest motherfuckers to spar, like the best top-notch pro boxers and shit. And there's this crazy like 6'7" like African who's like 20-1, like world ranked. And it was just like stupid. It was stupid when I think back. I sparred the guy 3 times within 7 days. Like, why? I don't know. My ego. That's why. And the first day I was like, I got beat pretty good. I was like, fuck, like buzz. My knees got buckled. I was like, I got really mad. I'm going back. Second day I did really good. Fucked him up. Third day I go back and then I feel it. Boom. I feel the buzz. I'm like, oh shit. And then boom, he knocked me out. He knocked me all the way out.
Shit.
And that was about 27 days before the Frank Tate fight. And so, you know, I ain't no bitch. I'm not going to pull out. I should have. I know. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. If you get knocked out 27 days before a fight, don't fucking fight because you saw what happened to me. Like a strong gust of wind could have came over and blown me in the face and I would got knocked out, you know, at that point. On top of that, you know, going through the emotional fucking trauma, fucking, you know, my wife had a miscarriage and I'm being so excited at first, like, fuck yeah. And then she's like, well, you know, we can announce it at the fight. I was like, all right, well, let's go hear the heartbeat first. Make sure the heartbeat's good. And that's when we went to like the doctor like 2 days before the fucking Frank Tate fight. And it was like, yeah, something's wrong. You got to come back next week, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. So I remember being in the back room, the locker room, the Frank Tate fight, and thinking, I don't want to fucking be here. Like, I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to fucking do this shit. And that is the worst place to be and have those feelings before a professional fucking bare knuckle fight with some 260-pound giant. You know, Frank Tate's no joke, you know, and so like I was like, fuck it, man. We'll see what happens. And fucking we saw what happened, you know. And so then after that, it was some really, really dark times, you know, and for my
bet.
kind of feeling lost and like not really knowing, like, okay, like fuck, like am I ever gonna stop having these headaches? And, like, because I would wake up in the morning and be dizzy and like fuck, and that was brand new. That's never happened in all my years of fighting, and I've been knocked out clean 2 other times, by LeVar Johnson and then by Emmanuel Newton in Bellator. So I've been there before, but like never had headaches like that. It was just crazy. And then those lasted like 2 weeks, and then I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm back to normal. I'm back to normal. You know, and then like all I really wanted, man, was just to spar. You know, I just want to feel fucking normal. I just want to know that I can still do this. So I rushed back and, you know, way too soon, and then basically like, man, I have to give credit to my wife, man. She once again have those rough conversations and you don't want to fucking have with people. And basically, long story short, told me to fucking sit the fuck down, man. You're gonna get like, no, stop. I love you. Stop. I love you. Like, I want you to be here when we're old. Like, I don't want you to fucking die. I don't want to take care of you, like wiping your face while you're drooling. Like, you know. So I stopped. It was crazy. Is like I stopped for 5 months total. And I told Brent, I was like, do you understand? Like, I haven't gone 5 months away from sparring since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Damn.
Like even like I said, those knockouts in my MMA career, like I was always like at the fucking on the mat waiting to get on. Oh, day 30, I'm in. Day 30, oh, why? The athletic commission only suspend me 30 days. Like, why do I need any more? Like, I'm back in there. So, I mean, that 5 months really, really served me well. Like, I feel so much better and quicker and snappier, if you will, in the gym. And it's like
at any point during those 5 months, did you just consider like, you know what, maybe I'll just retire and you know, ride with Britt for a while she fights? You ever think of that?
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And that was like, yeah, you know, and like once again, it was like, oh, because like I remember like I got offered the Houston Alexander fight like a while ago, and then it was like, and then they started fucking pulling some silly games. We'll leave out the details, but they started pulling silly games. And then I was like, well, you know what? It's fucking stupid, man. It's not even worth it. Like, told me, like, no, like, you want to do this. Like, you want to just fucking do the fight. Like, who cares? Who cares about the fucking minor details? Like, do the fight. All right, you're right. I do want to do this. And then, like, yeah. And it's been really, really good, man. Really, like, you know, like I said before, like I love training with right next to all those killers, and we have so much fun. We push each other, like, you know, a little healthy competitive nature in the gym, like who can outwork who, and you know, and shit talking and camaraderie, and just like, yeah, man, it's been a really good experience.
Awesome. And I know that you did a test cut. And you made weight already. What was that? Was that a couple weeks ago, or was that a week? Like, how long ago did you do that?
The week of the 24th, I believe.
Nice. And the weight cut went well, so I'm assuming you're feeling great going in there. A couple weeks ago, or was that a week ago?
Oh yeah, man, it was super easy. Like I started off like 232, and yeah, boom, boom, boom. I was on a Monday morning. I made it Wednesday morning, and then we had hard sparring Thursday morning. So it's like simulate the fight, you know. So I made it 206, no problem, and then yeah, right now I'm cruising like 220, so it'll be even easier.
Now you're going in there against Houston Alexander, who is another old vet in the game. Quite a few years. I think he's like 50, isn't he like 53 years old, something like that? But that fucking dude can still throw hands like a fucking maniac. You're familiar with Houston since back in the day. He's 50 right now. So Houston's been around for a long time. He's fought a lot of huge name guys. He's knocked some big names out. When they offered you him, you said that like you were kind of like, nah, I don't want to do that. But it is kind of cool to fight a dude that everybody's so familiar with, right?
Yeah, well, no. So basically, no. I said, perfect, great idea, and then basically like we're going back and forth over the money, and then that's when I got frustrated. This is stupid. Like fuck this. I don't need this headache. It was never about the opponent. I think if anything, this opponent's fantastic, man. I mean, I've been in the cage with him, so that's cool. I know it's totally different game. So I'm not like banking like, oh, I beat him in MMA, so I'm gonna beat him in BKFC. If anything, I really admit it. In MMA, I knew I don't want to trade with this motherfucker. I took him down right away. Took him down and beat him up on the ground. So I know I can't do that now. So fuck, it's gonna be a whole different style of fight. But I think that it's fantastic. I think that he's doing really, really well. I'm stoked for him. Those two knockouts. But like I've said before, like, let's call a spade a spade. If I fought those two guys, I'd have two spectacular knockouts on my record as well. So it's like at the end of the day, it's gonna be him and I on that night, and I really do believe that I'm coming out with a really solid finish. I'm definitely gonna finish his ass.
And now you go in there, you get a solid finish against a guy like Houston Alexander. You are back in the winning column. You're in a new division. You have a win in the new division. That division has kind of been a little confusing, to say the least, with Lorenzo and the Quentin Henry thing and the Gustavo Chihio. And where do you think that puts you? You go get a win against Houston Alexander. Do you think that plants you right in the conversation of like a top 5 competition? Maybe you fight a Gustavo Trujillo or someone like that after that, or are you just waiting to see what happens in Omaha and you'll figure it out from there?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I want to make. It's like I'm very motivated and very focused on this fight, and it's like, but after I'm on a fight by fight basis at this stage, I don't want to be fighting when I'm 50. I know that for sure. I want to be having, chilling in Virginia with some kids by that time, so yeah. It's like, so we'll see what happens afterwards. I've always been a real believer of that never say never attitude, but also at the end of the day, I'm not stupid in the fact that like, if you get a spectacular win in a main event in a big arena, like there ain't really much better other way to walk out. And
right,
meaning like so many fighters, especially as we get up in our age, like we don't get that opportunity. We always end face down, ass up in the middle of the ring in a puddle of blood, and I used to always tell Britain that like I will never walk away from this gracefully. I will end my career face down, ass up in the middle of the ring. And, but now as I'm older and like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. So it's like, if I get an opportunity to, say peace out, everybody thinks it's been real. It might be one of those things, but it'll be game time decision,
Yeah. What else would be better than you taking this fight and then going on to pick up a belt in the 205 and then going, you know what? I'm going to call it quits here, That would be a fantastic story, I'll tell you.
It would be if I had never had the gold before, and if I had never won and defended it multiple times, and know that it really doesn't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. And I'm sorry to say that, it may sound jaded, but at the end of the day, it's like your life is what you make of it. And you know, my life is fucking fantastic right now. I'm really great. I'm really happy. And it's like I don't need. You know, maybe back then I needed the belt to cement my legacy or whatever kind of fucking reason you can come up with. But it's like, you know, nah, man, it's just more of a headache. You think you got people talking shit to you or people disrespecting you right now? Like, put a belt on and then see how many boo birds come out of the woodwork to talk shit. You know, how much then you have a reason, like then you start getting in your own head, like why don't these motherfuckers answer my calls? Like, I'm the champ. Why am I getting the respect I deserve? I'm the fucking champ. I'm the champ. Why the fuck is this not happening? You know, and so it's like I've been there, and it's like I get it, you know, and it's like, you know, let me rewind a little bit by saying Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship has always taken care of me. Since the very beginning, they've taken care of me. You know, could I make more money? Do I want more money? Of course. Everybody does. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, Feldman fucking. I've always said that if Feldman tells me something, like that's gold. His word is gold. I'm gonna take him for what he says. You know, so that's rare, especially in this business. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so at the end of the day, nothing spectacularly, you know, different happened once I had the belt. It's like now they're gonna roll out the red carpet. Now you're gonna. You know, like they always like, you know, they did fly me out to some shows, which is awesome, and that's how I met Britt. So it's like shout out to them for hooking me up with that one, the Supreme hookup. You know, so it's like, you know, like I said, like at the end of the day, they did take care of me. They have taken care of me. So there's no really other reason to like stick around and go back other than I just want to fucking win this goddamn fight. Win it in spectacular fashion. And how cool would it be to, like, you know, like I said before, like, how many times do fighters, oh, man, they really should retire. They really should think about hanging up. How awesome would it be to go out there and look, like, better than ever? And then, like, I'm done. I don't want to do it.
True.
And the whole time, people are like, fuck, I wish Joey would fight again. I wish we could see Joey fight again. Like, nah. Maybe I'll start playing golf or something, you know?
The way you explain that, it kind of reminds me of how Dominic Cruz explained it. You know, he won the title when he didn't have the title. Now he has that kind of outlook on it. Like, I don't really care about the title that much anymore. I kind of want to just, you know, cement my legacy, have great fights, get out there, do what I love, and then, you know, call it over when I see fit. And then that's it, you know, right off into the sunset. So, yeah, man, I respect that.
Yeah. You know, and there's, I mean, and also let's not forget, you know, there's the other Beltran who has a belt, you know, and there's plenty of to be done, like supporting her and you know, we still travel and still have the fun stuff and not being stressed out again, myself being punched in the face, you know, and just worry about like taking care of her, getting her ready to kill somebody. And it's like, man, because it's gonna be untouchable, I think, in that 115-pound weight class. So that I think that ride's gonna go on for a little bit. So
you just said what I was thinking right there. I was going to say, if you go off and you go out there and you win and you decide that you want to retire from fighting, you still got another decade in the fight game with Britain. She's like, she's just getting started into the prime of her career, and she's a champion now, and she's looking better than ever. Every time she goes out there, she improves.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way as well.
Hey, sure.
Can I ask you a question? Like after, because I don't know the proper like procedures and shit. After the Frank Tate fight, do they make you go get a CAT scan, like a brain scan after a knockout like that, and everything come up good?
Oh yeah. I do
All
that and an MRI also.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's something that is required by the commission that you go get that, and you know, I mean, you got to get it cleared for the suspension to get lifted, right? And that's something.
And I also had to do a neurological exam also too, which is if anyone's ever done that shit was actually kind of hard. Like you're like, like the doctor's like, all right, I'm gonna give you 4 numbers, but I want you to repeat them to me backwards. I was like,
What?
Dude, Joey, I am not a professional fighter, but I've had like 6 concussions in my life, and we work at an aviation unit for our and we're in in the Army, and I'm walking across the flight line, and no bullshit, a fucking gust of wind comes and it blows the top of a metal blade. Like the helicopter blades are kept in these metal cans, right? And the
And they're
cans are
huge.
the cans are 26 feet long by 4 feet wide and 3 feet tall. And a gust of wind blows this can and it fucking hits me in the side of the head. Doesn't knock me out, but it like knocks me over, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I go in the office. My supervisor's like, you okay? Like, what the fuck's going on with you? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, why? And he's like, you look a little foggy right now. And I'm like, I'm fine, man. He sends me to the hospital. I tell him what happened, and then he's like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to the fucking hospital. You got to go check. I'm like, I'm going to fail this fucking concussion test. I am going to fail it every time for the rest of my life. And this is what you're saying, like the neurological test. The shit is hard, one. And if you've been hit in the head a few times in your life, I told the doctor, I got to the hospital and they're like, yeah, we're going to run you through some tests. I was like, I'm going to fail them. I'm telling you, I am not concussed right now, but I'm not going to pass your fucking test. And they're like, oh, concussion, fucking, boop, 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 fucking, there's number 6. I'm like, God damn it, son of a bitch. So you're right, man. Those things are tough. It was fucking wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain, my friend. Hey, I wanted to ask you real quick about somebody in the Slaughterhouse gym in the team there. And then we're going to run a few questions by you and then we'll let you get out of here. Have you sparred with this young 145er that is 6'7" or whatever he is, named Bryce Henry, that we keep hearing so much about? Have you gotten in there with this kid and thrown some hands a little bit?
No.
No,
No. There's no fucking reason for me to do that. Like,
I know. I know that you're much bigger. I know you're not much bigger, but like I thought maybe you get in there, just fuck around, play with the kid a little bit, and see what he's like.
like I said, man, my ego is not my amigo. So that's one thing I've learned. Age. No, but yeah, no, Bryce he's legit, man. He's gonna turn some heads for sure.
Nice.
Nah, we can't wait to see him, man. Ryan was telling us that he has a real hard time trying to find somebody to fight him. So when that day finally comes, hopefully we see it, and he is what everybody expects and everybody keeps hearing about. With that said, let's ask you 5 quick questions and we'll let you get out of here. My first question for you, sir: who is the craziest person on that Slaughterhouse team? We hear different stories. Who's the craziest?
Oh, well, I mean, that's pretty easy. It's probably Brian's.
Yeah, he's freaking nuts, right?
Yeah, he's hilarious. I love
that guy.
Like, no, like we've had some couple deep conversations. Like, that's my boy for sure.
Yeah, he's freaking great. We have such good times with him every time we see him. He's a fucking madman. All right, number 2.
Describe David Alnesio Diaz using only 3 words.
Oh, passionate, emotional, and what's the word? Damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I like ferocious.
Ferocious, nice.
Yeah.
Tenacious.
Tenacious, yeah, that's better.
Yeah. He's also entertaining as fuck. That
He
guy
is.
Yeah. Well, it's 'cause he's so passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love that guy. Number 3, here we go. Who's someone in your life right now that is never wrong, no matter what anyone says?
No comment.
Okay. I was wondering if it was going to be one of 2 names. I was going to go with either we will not say the name because she could be nearby, or your head coach right now. I was going to say one of those 2.
It's gonna be Britain.
It is.
Cut for interference.
There's
Say it
another
right.
Britain. Yeah, there's actually another Britain in the comments, and she said me too. That's crazy.
That
That shit is funny. Here we go. Number four.
Do you have your post weigh-in meal picked out already?
No, I don't. But it'll be something scrumptious, I'm sure. But I mean, though, like the actual official weigh-ins, I'll keep it like really light. Probably like just like fruits and nuts, and that's about it. It's just something real simple to get in my stomach, and then like the weigh-in, the dinner will be good. Like we'll find a nice restaurant. I'm sure there's good eating in fucking Nebraska. Come on now, there's gotta be some
I would imagine
food
so.
out there.
Hey, going back to the question before, I think your mom's chiming in, and she says your mom is never wrong.
Uh,
Yeah, you got a few people in your life that are never wrong. Man.
yeah,
God bless you.
that's tough.
Hey, last
next,
question.
my sister's gonna clue in too. Chime in.
She's she's gonna chime in next. And last thing, kind of like on a serious note, one piece of advice from you for a young fighter trying to make their way in bare knuckle. What would you give them?
Focus on moving your feet, moving your head, and moving your feet. Instead of being tough. That's good. Move your head, move your feet. Don't be tough.
And that
get longevity, get some money out there. You can still win in spectacular fashion. You don't have to fucking sit there and take 2, give 3. So
I fucking love that you said that, because we had Johnny Bedford on right before you. He says to say hello to you, by the way. I don't know if he said what's up to you. But he said that is the progression of the sport. At the beginning, it was the Wild West. Everybody was going in there trying to just win a fucking all-out war brawl. And the sport has evolved over the last 5 years. And then you get guys, like your team, works the defensive side of the sport now. Reggie Barnett is slipping. He's a really hard guy to hit. It's the ones that been around and been doing it. Lorenzo Hunt, you know what I mean? The guys that have been around and been doing it the longest are really developing the sport into something special. And that's beautiful advice by you. Don't go in there looking for a fucking hockey fight. You know what I mean? Grab the head and just that fucking
I've had a few of those.
Yes, you have. All right, my man. We cannot wait to see you fight Houston Alexander on the 18th in Omaha. Unfortunately, Mike and I won't be able to make this trip because we got some Army stuff going on that weekend. But we will be watching. Yeah, one of these days. We'll give you this opportunity to say any final words before we let you go, man.
Yeah, I just want to say a huge shout out and thank you, of course, first and foremost, my wife. Second, Coach Ryan Perez, my whole team at Slaughterhouse. And
we
look at that. That's like one of those really good like walk-offs. You see, he was like in my team at Slaughterhouse, and boom, he's gone.
He was.
How about them cookies?
That phone was really giving him fits at the end there, man.
Yeah.
Here he is. Hold on. Let's bring him back on. Let's bring him back on.
Hey.
Let's finish. That goddamn phone.
Oh my God. All right. So thank you, my wife. Thank you, Coach Ryan. Thank you, the team at Slaughterhouse. Thank you to all my people back in Cali, my family, my brother, my sister, my nieces, my nephews, my mom, of course. And my sponsors. Always gotta shout them out for keeping it local. Ray Neff, Metal Fabrication, DM Building, Nat Fit San Diego, Jason Ellis Podcast, the Global Fight Token, the GFT token, that new shit. Oh, that's gonna be huge. And yeah, man, that's about it. A huge thank you to Diego at KO Zone for opening the doors to all of us at Slaughterhouse and making a really awesome environment for us to go and put in work in.
Oh, and one last thing here. Shablam.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, see, I get hit in the head a lot. So I have shout outs to Jab, the team Jab, Joey and Bell, Joey and Britton. We got our website will be coming out soon, but you can go actually to Just Blazed and pick up this fight shirt. So
Fight them all.
Thank you, Wallace, over at Just Blaze, for helping us out and making this this project is gonna be pretty cool, man. So
I love
big
it.
things coming after this fight for sure.
Awesome. Hey, Ben. I mean, Joey, Big Ben, expect a phone call from Big Ben in a minute, okay? Just expect a phone call from Big Ben because he says
put your phone on silent.
Yep, he said he better shout me out, and you didn't.
Big Ben. I know. Sorry, Big Ben's been holding his breath. Since Britton told him I was gonna call him, and then I forget shit all the time. I just went about my day and forgot to call him. He's like, I was holding my breath.
Oh man, that shit is hilarious. Well, as soon as we're gonna let you go in a minute. I'm gonna count down from 10, and your phone will start ringing. Joey Beltran, BKFC OG, fighting Houston Alexander, November 18th, Omaha, Nebraska. BKFC 33. Thank you very much for coming on, Mike. You got anything else for him?
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you guys. Always a pleasure.
Take it easy. Bye, Britton.
So, before we get any further, I do have one shout out here to make, and it's to my lovely, beautiful wife, Stephanie. Happy birthday. She is 29 today. Can you believe that? 29, dude. Robbing the cradle, as they call it.
Robbing the cradle.
That's what they call it, robbing the cradle. Yeah. 29 cradle.
29 years old.
Like my other kid's 3. She's out of the cradle, so I don't know why they say that. But anyways,
today's her actual birthday. Is today?
Today is her actual birthday, November 9th, which is very crazy because it does go hand in hand with our unit number. But yeah, it's wild.
1109 for my Stephanie.
For my Stephanie. That's right. My Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call her. My Stephanie. I like ownership.
I hope everybody remembers. I think we told that story once. Mike was on his way out of the barracks, and he was like, I gotta go call my Stephanie. Yeah. And he was going to say my girlfriend, but we all know his girlfriend's name. So he's like, I got to go call my Stephanie. We're like, oh, make sure you call my Stephanie. Oh, how's your Stephanie?
Yeah. One little instance of a screw up of a name, and
she's my
fucking
Stephanie
10
forever.
years later, we're still talking about it. You see, she's my Stephanie forever.
She is your Stephanie forever.
What are you going to do?
Hey, man, I'm telling you right now, it has been a good time lately. Saturday night in Orlando, Florida was fantastic. The crowd was great. There was some craziness in the ring. Let's talk about the fights just for a few minutes before we leave. J.R. Ridge and Chancey Wilson and Travis Thompson versus David Diaz both got fights of the night. And I love the fact that they gave both of those guys fights of the night because those two fights stole the show. Jack Shady Grady tried to steal the show a little bit, but that was on another level.
That was on some wild.
You guys you guys got to go check out our go to our YouTube channel, check out all of our post-fight interviews because we got some doozies. I'm telling you, like the interview we did with David Diaz is fantastic.
That'll be out soon. That's on there. It'll be posted tomorrow morning.
Okay, it'll be posted tomorrow. But the Ryan Reber one, Ryan Reber went in there against Jack Grady. And anybody that knows Jack Grady knows that he's a freaking crazy guy. And he's called Shady Grady for a reason. And he goes in there and he just absolutely lives up to his moniker for sure, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He goes in there. He just bulldogs forward, head down, straight to the chest, throwing body shots on Reber, acting crazy. And then he goes and throws that fucking headbutt up to Reber's
a little bit
chin.
of a try to headlock going on in the beginning, I feel like, right? A little headlock action.
I mean, Grady was slapping submission attempts, elbows, headbutts, you name it. He probably tweaked a nipple and tried to knee him in his balls at some point.
Yep,
I don't know. I didn't see it, but I'm telling you right now, that shit was crazy. And then the fight gets called off by disqualification due to another headbutt. Reber gives him the fucking stone cold double bird.
I think part of the reason that this happened, though, is, I don't want to blame it on the ref, but I think I might blame a little bit on him because he kind of just like let them do their own thing after that. Knowing the animosity that's going on in the ring,
right?
He should have controlled Grady and had
before going to tell the
corner, but he kind of pushed him away ends the fight. So now he's pissed. You know, Reber's already pissed. And then instead of staying there until like the corners come in and kind of, he just walks over and like
To
just
tell
lets them
he went
do their
over to
own
tell he went over to tell the table what the official call was.
Right.
And in the process, he forgets that these two fighters have all this shit going on behind them. Reber hits him with the double bird. Fucking Grady charges him. Reber throws
hit
a
with
little
the
fucking
uppercut.
uppercut. All of a sudden, their fucking bench is clear. And who's in the corner of Ryan Reber? The one guy you know is going to get involved. Julian
Yes.
Lane fucking dives in there.
Yeah, 1,000%. 100 out of 100, 101 out of 100 times he jumps into that ring.
Oh yeah,
Like he's in the ring before it even
we walked
starts.
down there, dude. The day we got down there was the they were doing the official weigh-ins before the ceremonial weigh-ins, and we go downstairs at the Caribe Royale, and they're like letting certain fighters in at a time to weigh in for the official weigh-in. And Julian Lane's just standing in the corner with his wife beater on, just fucking. I go, look at him over there, dude. He just looks like he is ready to fight at all times.
Yeah.
Dude
don't
just
mess
looks
with
like
him unless you want to get fucking into a fight, pretty much.
yeah. Oh man, it was amazing.
Otherwise,
and
it's just super nice, you know. That's
Yeah,
the funny
yeah,
thing
and
about
then he
all
is.
these guys, like and girls, like they're just so super nice. But it's like, hey, look, some of
I
them
mean,
you don't
dude,
want to screw around.
shout out to a lot of these guys. Like
Fuck
we
around, find out.
fuck around and find out. That's
Right.
what it is. We got to meet Tony Murphy the day before the fights.
Yeah, what a
He-
charismatic character. That
Charismatic
guy is.
dude. He goes out there and he gets a quick knockout in the first round, and he's just on cloud nine all night, running around, talking to fans, having a good time. He's backstage, he's out by the ring. It was cool meeting him. And then the David Diaz, like we said when we were talking to Joey, the strike count. Guys, go on the app. Go on the app. And if you don't have the app, use our fucking promo code and hook us up a little bit. And check out this fight between Travis Thompson and David Diaz, because
Dude,
they don't stop all fight long. Look at these stats. Bring them up. It's just amazing, man. Total punches 309 to 238 in a five 2-minute rounds, 309 to 238 thrown, 130 landed by Travis. I mean, and it wasn't a washout. A lot of people were saying it was a washout. It was just it was one-way traffic, but I disagree, man. David Diaz hung in there, man. He battled. It was a great fight. Travis looked better than ever. David Diaz looked better than ever. David Diaz showed that he could be one of those fighters that's just too tough for his own good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
He's a tough son of a bitch.
You gotta kill that man to keep him down.
After the fight, he is in such good spirits, right? I wish I uploaded
Biggest
this
smile
video
ever.
now, because he's like in the crowd. So some crowds left over and he's screaming. I have this video. We're going to release it. And he's just like screaming, "What's my fucking name?" on the chair, bleeding, eye completely shut. He's got three like streams of blood coming down his face, blood all over his shirt. I tried to give him a bunch of fucking like towels and stuff to wipe his face.
Yeah.
He was bleeding all over his suit, and he was like, whatever, who cares? And then he's like hugging people, getting blood all over everybody. It's fantastic.
It was. And you know what? And I was telling Mike, dude, after the event was over, the couple of the last guys that I interviewed for the night were him and then Reggie Barnett.
Yep.
And David Diaz had so much blood still, like he had streaming blood coming down one side of his face, but his other eye had this cut over the lid. And every time he blinked, there was blood like in his eye. And like he's, 1 foot from my face, and he's got blood in his mouth and in his mustache. The smell of blood was so strong coming off of him. Like you could smell it. And then I interview Reggie Barnett, and Reggie Barnett didn't take all that much damage, but he had a little cut, but he had blood all in his mouth. And as he's talking, I could smell the blood coming out of his mouth. I could not get that fucking smell out of my nose for the rest of the night, man. I was like,
I remember you saying it to me. He's like, all I can smell is blood.
Dude, we went to the bar after the after party, and I got a drink, and I'm sitting there like smelling my drink, and somebody's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to cleanse my fucking nose palate here. Just fucking, it was just tough, dude.
Cleanse the nose palate,
Yeah,
Kyle.
yeah, dirty pennies, man. That's exactly. It's like nasty, the dirty penny smell. It's a real copper smell to it. It was just in there for like 24 hours afterwards. There's a picture of us with David after we interviewed him. He's a fucking G. I'm a huge fan of that guy now for sure. I already was before.
So much fun.
I was before, and then of course, Reggie Barnett looked better than ever as always. Goes and wins all 5 rounds of his fight.
What's crazy is like right in the beginning, there was like just a couple of seconds of like, because he got poked in the eye and kind of fell, right? And then everyone was like, oh boy, like what's going on here? Because no one really saw what happened to Reggie, And then it was like, from there, he kind of just took off and did what Reggie does. Bring it back up.
Uncle Pete, yeah, bring that. Joe Ivy says, look at Kyle's face. Yeah, that's probably because I'm smelling dirty pennies, man. It was right after I interviewed him. I mean, Uncle Pete says maybe it was the blood from my head. Hey, you know what? You're right. It could be.
Yeah, Kyle was bleeding out all night.
And then for some reason, Big Ben just writes the word vagina in the comment section. I don't know what that's about, but
not sure.
Maybe he's calling me a big vag. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that could
whatever.
Be
you two Stunads look better than ever too. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Hey, and I rock the Army green colors because it is Veterans Day on Friday, and shout out to all the vets. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it for tonight because we have another show tomorrow night. We got a couple guests lined up, and who knows, by this time tomorrow night, we could have 2 more guests. Who knows?
That is correct.
But right now, 9:00 tomorrow, we got Audra Cummings, and then we're going to follow her up with Joey Beltran's opponent in Nebraska. The one and only Houston Alexander will be on the show tomorrow after Audra, and we're looking forward to that one. Awesome show tonight. 2 great guests. Awesome weekend.
Very fun.
Mike, do you have anything else for the people at home?
I will see you all tomorrow night. Be here or be square.
Peace.